Hey guys, my name is MoonSwatch. Today we're gonna be moonswatching about the MoonSwatch, and I'm here with my friends MoonSwatch and MoonSwatch. How are you moonswatching today, MoonSwatch?
Doing
uh,
fantastic.
Is
uh,
this like when you broke down with the whole pen soup thing?
yeah. No, I feel like all I've been hearing this whole week is about the Moonswatch, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the Moonswatch. So Moonswatch away, right? um, yeah, but in all seriousness, hope you guys are all well and having a good weekend. Everyone in the chat, it's good to see you. Hope you guys are doing well, Patrick and Torin. Um, yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about the Moonswatch, talk a little bit about other stuff. Hope you are up for that. Patrick, how are you today? What's on your wrist? And
Well,
yeah,
today is wonderful because it's a Saturday and I have it off. So the wife and I we went for a little picnic at a little Saturday market that happens here in St. Petersburg. And on the wrist today, I'm wearing a weird watch. I'm wearing my Zodiac Astrographic reissue.
wow.
So it's a
Whoa.
it's a chunky monkey, but it fits really well. It's got a nice camber on
Yeah,
the case back, and I love the actual bracelet. It's just a really
yeah,
comfortable, nice bracelet, and it's got a fun little dial on it. So
yeah. No, I mean, I take a look at that watch and I think Patek Philippe Nautilus right there. It's a knockoff of the Nautilus. No, I'm just, I'm pulling you like I'm being a Kevin O'Leary. Um, I actually think it looks like the Brew watch a little bit
Oh
like a
yeah,
Brew.
now that you mention
Are you familiar with the Brew watches at all,
I've
Patrick?
seen it here and there. I mean, I don't know of it too well, but yeah, it's got a pretty classic square
Yeah, yeah. It
shape
looks
to
not
it.
just so
And
you know, it looks nothing like a Nautilus.
oh
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
pulling
I
you
know.
away.
They do make a square. I've seen like two pictures of it. They do make a square royal oak, and that was pretty wild to me. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of interesting looking. I kind of like it better than the round one. Well,
Yeah,
the octagon one.
yeah. Huh. So Zodiac makes one like that?
Which oh, this is a Zodiac, yeah. So
Yeah.
this is a reissue from like a 1970s watch they made, but
Oh, I
I
see.
saw it on the eBay probably a decade ago and said, "Ooh, I like it." And
Yeah,
I don't wear it much, but today I was just in the mood to pull it out.
yeah. It's a good looking
that.
watch. Very nice. Um, may I ask what kind of movements in there? Do you?
It's an ETA,
Okay, cool. Very
so
cool.
I think it's a 2824.
Yeah, very nice. Torin.
Back when other companies were allowed to get ETA movements.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? Maybe those times will return. How are you, Torin? How was your Saturday today, and what's on your wrist?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. My brother and I we went to the Toronto area. We actually so last night's conversation with my brother was, "What time do you want to get to the Eaton Center where the Swatch store is?" And then we were getting updates from like the Facebook group and some other watch groups, and it kind of got a little bit crazy, like it did everywhere.
Yeah,
So I mean, I thought it'd be cool just to even go and like just like wait in line and just meet people and stuff like that. Maybe get some content, but we kind of opted against it, and instead we went to another authorized dealer. We're planning a watch meetup there in Brampton, and it's going to be happening probably late May or in June. So stay tuned
cool.
for info on that. And while I was there, I did pick up a new watch today. So
Oh,
there you go.
Ooh.
oh, oh, hey, nice.
Seiko SPB 147, I think.
Yes, it looks
It's
like
like
one for
the brown coppery tobacco dial.
it's probably one of the best ones.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
great. And I don't know. I don't think this Jubilee, like the dealer had this strap code Jubilee. The
oh, I know
M-Link
where you went now.
integration, like it doesn't match the finishing as well, but it's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Cool. Very, very nice. Good job, Torin. Congrats.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been meaning to get a diver. I don't know if you guys know. I sold my Marine Master 300, so
Oh no.
yeah, I know. I was kind of looking for another diver.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's good. It's a good replacement. I had a good Saturday. We went to a zoo nearby, and it wasn't like a full-on zoo. It's like one of those little zoos, kind of mixed up with a ravine, like a park thing, you know. So the kids and I, we had a blast. On my wrist today is Grand Seiko Winter
Felt
SPGA
like winter.
415. Sorry.
It felt like winter today.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't too bad. Yeah.
I mean, it's snowing right now in London, so like,
Oh, seriously?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I haven't looked out
I
the
won't
window in a
tell you
while.
how beautiful my day was then. So down here in Florida, there
Yeah,
is nothing,
Florida.
nothing not beautiful about it.
Yeah. Well, let's say hi to everyone in the chat. Bruno, good to see you. He says he finally got to see the GS in person. Cool. Looks like the spring SPGA 413. Very cool. Glad you liked it, Bruno. Bill K, good to see you. No more MoonSwatch talk. Oh no. Yeah, I leaned in hard there at the beginning. Um, it's gonna happen. And I don't know how much I'm gonna repeat. I missed out on Thursday night watch talk with Bobby Legs, and I have been really struggling to catch up with content. But yeah, we'll hopefully I don't repeat a whole bunch of stuff. Hopefully we don't repeat a whole bunch of stuff. But good to see you, Reinhard. Hope you're doing well. James Duffy, how are you? Steve is here. Good to see you, Steve. Chaz from the Berg, good to see you. Peter is here. Dan is here. We've got Bobby Legs is here. Good to see you, sir. Pale Horse is here. Bobby Legs is out. It's good to see you. Good to see you, Darren. Hey, Kevin S. Good to see you. BJ, how are you? Wilson, Justin, my pen buddy. Good to see you. Justin, did Sandra make a joke? Yeah, yep, I made a joke. Dad jokes. Tennessee Mike, good to see you. Um, it looks like the Appalachian Trail. Neff. Love to hear what you did, Neff. Stefan Schweitzer, good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Underachieving Watch Collector is here. Hey, Eric is here too. Stood in line with the Swatch store and didn't get a watch. Oh well, saw a random out there and was about 300 people in front of me. Oof.
Man.
Cord. Congrats, Random Rob. That's cool.
Yeah, Rob released some content on his swatches, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's good. Oh man, I'm so far behind. I know you released an Omega Speedmaster video too, Torn, and yeah,
Perfect
man,
It was
timing.
timely, yeah. Very
yeah.
timely.
My watch later playlist is out of control. Waven is here. Good to see you. Let's see. I'm sorry if I missed anyone. I'm gonna jump down here. BB, good to see you. I did not pick up a MoonSwatch. I don't think many did over here, at least. I'm not sure. Did you guys didn't get to, right? Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. So this MoonSwatch. Let's talk about it. Man, what I don't know what happened, but Omega set the internet on fire. Set the Swatch or Omega or both of them set the internet on fire this week. It was so cool. Like I don't I was so excited about this. I don't even know why. I was giddy about it. And I'm kind of still giddy about it now. About a watch I'd never buy. So like I have no interest in the MoonSwatch, just so you guys know. I have no intention of ever purchasing it, but I was so happy about it. It's so cool. But we'll talk about that soon. Let's hear your like first impressions, guys. Patrick, first impressions about MoonSwatch when you first saw it.
Well, I'm kind of on the same page that you are. I mean, Torin, don't be mad at me, but I am not a fan of the classic Moonwatch. I never have been. I don't really know what my deal with not liking it is I just, I've never really been a super chronograph guy. I don't really do a history thing. So, at least it's not that I dislike the history. It's just, it doesn't make me say, ooh, I want this watch because it has a history. Like, I just want to like the watch. And my
Yeah.
biggest pet peeve of all pet peeves is it just doesn't have enough water resistance. And so for me,
Fair.
I can't wear a daily wear or watch that.
Well,
Mhm.
we may have lost Patrick.
I think Omega just cut him off.
Yeah, I think it was the water resistance comment.
Yeah.
Sorry, Patrick. Oh,
Computer
yeah. Oh,
issues.
He's coming.
back.
Yeah.
He's back.
Oh,
You're
okay,
back.
I'm back. I was like, oh, I think I might be frozen.
Yep.
But so I don't know where I left off, but I'll just keep going. So the
Yeah, yeah.
idea though is, I've never been a super big fan of the the Moonwatch. However, when I saw these fun, cool colors, I was like, that's pretty cool. And, my biggest hope, of course, was that it was going to be more water resistant and, just be
It's
a sort
less.
of a G-Shock wannabe. But you're right, it's less. But I kind of said like Sanjay said. I mean, my first impressions was most of them. I don't think the Saturn's very nice, but I was like, man, these are pretty cool, and I definitely was interested in getting one just because one, it was pretty cool, and two, it would be pretty good content to just make a video of because obviously it's the hot new thing. So, but once I found out the lines were going to be just crazy wild, I thought better and said I'll just enjoy my weekend with my family.
Yeah. Great choice. Man, because it's going to be available. Like, and a lot of people are saying that. Um, and Jenny L did a really great video, and she mentioned the Timex Q. So I was
Yeah,
I was
good
thinking the
analogy.
same thing. Yeah, it was a really great analogy. So it's gonna be available. So yeah, the time will come. But Torin, what were your first impressions when you saw it?
Yeah, I think like the first thing I felt was just like a lot of energy, and I felt like it really stimulated the watch community, like with a really hyped release. And I was surprised because I thought the announcement, like I don't know when it was officially announced, but it didn't seem like there was a lot of time between the announcements or the leaks and it actually being released.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably like what 3 or 4 days, maybe. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think it was announced on Tuesday, right? Speedy Tuesday.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, just the momentum it carried. Like it just I was hyped up for it. I wasn't sure what to expect, but like as Patrick mentioned too, I was a big fan of the colors. Like the Tiffany one was like, oh man, I'm just like, that's so nice.
Yeah.
The unfortunately named the Uranus, but so the Uranus and the Neptune were amazing. And if I'm not mistaken, I know some people picked them up. I don't know if Random Rob showed up on the chat, but I think he picked up the Neptune,
I
and his
did
buddy
know.
picked up the mission to the moon. Yeah,
Cool.
those were my two favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds great. I okay, so I already mentioned how excited I was about these. I am of the camp that I don't quite like exclusivity. There's like a little part of me that likes exclusivity, right? But it's for the reasons of being your own person, like being a little different. So having like a limited edition in that sense is really really nice to me. But exclusivity just because of price's sake, I'm not a fan of that. And I think this is so cool because people get to taste the Moonwatch. I'm one of those people who really loves the Omega Moonwatch, and I was so excited that more people can enjoy this. Like the average person who's not willing to dish out $6,000, $7,000, um, is able to like get a taste of it. And the fact that this would possibly, like there are thousands of people lining up right in Toronto, in Berlin. I heard thousands of people were lined up there. The line was a mile long. A friend of ours was saying, a kilometer long. But and not all of them are scalpers, right? Not all. There's a lot of
A lot of
scalpers
them
out there.
are.
Yeah, a lot of them are, but not all of them are. And that made me excited that this is permeating into, and the screenshot I was showing you guys here is not This is not a watch website. This is Esquire magazine, I guess. I don't even know Esquire, but this is just a Joe Blow magazine. that makes me really excited because
Yeah, no, that is cool.
this will replace, like people will get watches on their wrists. They will start
Yeah.
enjoying wearing analog watches, and we'll have more friends, in the community. So I was really excited about this. I was over the moon.
Nice.
Sorry guys, I had a bit of caffeine to pep me up.
Yeah, you're high energy, man. This is great.
I'm barely holding it together. I shouldn't have had coffee so late, but uh,
Dr.
yeah,
Pepper.
yeah.
Is that what's in
Uh,
your chalice? Are you
I don't have a chalice even. I already like drank a big mug of tea. But yeah,
lemon ginger?
yeah. So yeah, that's why I was super excited about this watch. That more people are gonna get their hands on moon watches. We're gonna have more people in the community. More people are gonna just more people we can chat about watches about, and that's gonna be a really nice thing. So I'm gonna jump into the chat before I start asking you guys some questions because I was really hoping we'd have more people on the stream tonight so we could just get blanket um, look at a couple of questions that have been percolating in my head about this watch. But yeah, let's talk about it, guys in the chat. I When I ask the questions, I'd love to hear what you think too. Um, okay. BJ says, I wonder if they're gonna make a Swee Master. That's a good one. Um, that probably would be a bit much, but you never know. Um, Justin says, I find it funny that watch nerds do full in-depth reviews on a swatch, talking about fitment and finish as if it isn't $250. Bruno says favorite of the bunch is Jupiter. Neff likes Neptune. Random Ron picked the right one.
Yeah, Neptune's awesome.
Yeah. Tiffany is Uranus color, not the other way around. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Um,
Yeah, it makes sense. Sure.
yeah. Kevin S was excited at first, not excited anymore. Yeah, I can't. I'm really over the whole MoonSwatch talk, which is ironic because we're talking about the MoonSwatch. But but it's I kind of want to hear like personal thoughts. I want to hear people's thoughts, like people I know, like my friends, like Torrin and Patrick and everyone, because I haven't been chatting with you guys too much on the Discord on anything really. Um, so yeah, because of the baby. But
Yeah.
anyway, Neff says, by the way, our moon is much larger than Pluto. Good to know. I did not know that actually. Sarmad, hey, good to see you. These so-called omegas are swatches made of plastics, and I don't feel attracted towards them. I'd rather go for my vintage omega with patina. Would not buy this plastic even in $100. I understand that, which is I personally don't like plastic as well. I know there's a place for it, but plastic and composites, not really my thing. Like even forged carbon, really not my thing. Um, and they're calling this bioceramic, but yeah, whatever. uh, it is called bioceramic, right? I don't
That's
even
how they
know.
market it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're right, it's just plastic.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Hey, Bobby, our resident Speedmaster expert. There you go. There was a Moon Swatch release. Oh, I guess it was under the radar on social media. Ah,
Yeah, I was hoping Bobby would be on the stream. As
yeah, yeah.
the MoonWatch
Bobby,
expert.
if you're available, jump on, man. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Um, Talking about Sanjay's buzzed. I yeah. I mean, I'm a little hyper. All right, let's scroll down. I'm afraid Omega won't stop here and move to do a SWAT Seamaster. So that's a good segue, I think. Do you guys think? What do you guys think about the brand here? Like, do you think? We'll start with Torn because you're clockwise with me. Do you think this damages the brand at all, Torn, Omega?
I think it damages Omega a little bit in the short term, in the sense that, like, I think people see it as a Moonwatch and they want to go to an Omega dealer to look at it and stuff, but you have to go to Swatch. And like that type of experience, like going to a Swatch boutique is distinctly different than going to like a luxury authorized dealer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I do think it does a little bit in that sense, but it's great for Swatch. And like you said, I think it's great for bringing more people into this hobby. Like more people are going to be wearing, a Moonwatch on the wrist, and I think that it'll in the long term, in the long term, I actually think it's going to help Omega because it'll just make people gravitate more towards the iconic pieces, like in the Omega catalog. I think, and for me too, I felt like in the short term, I thought it was going to devalue like my recently acquired Moonwatch, the 3861 Sapphire Sandwich, but now I just appreciate it more. So like I'm kind of riding that wave, like of initial disappointment, and then I'm like, oh, actually, this is a good thing, and it makes me appreciate the original mechanical speedies even more.
Yeah, I understand. How about you, Patrick? Do you think this damages Omega at all, the brand?
Well, I'm going to come at this a little bit devil's advocate because I think a lot of us are looking at this story as watch aficionados.
Yeah.
And the honest truth is we don't know how many real enthusiasts, real lovers of the watch actually were buying it. Because, a lot of, whether it be real press, because I hadn't seen that Esquire magazine, but a lot of at least internet press with all like the buzz things and the hype machines were pretty much telling people, oh, go get this. It's going to, be worth money. And,
they did.
I think because of that, a lot of the, let's say, fanfare kind of in the Rolex model is, oh, limited, let's get it, even though it's not limited, but, limited short term, let's go get it, let's flip it. And, I think a lot of the buzz isn't necessarily real buzz. And, I'm caught up in it a little bit. I was going to kind of get one because, hey, it's not that much money and they're kind of cool and, it would make a good little video for the channel and stuff like that. But once this buzz is kind of over, I'm over it. So will I probably get one at that point? Probably not. And that's kind of my prelude to answering the question. And the question is, do I think it hurt the brand?
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to vote yes, because the reality is, I think the people who love, Omega Moonwatches love Omega Moonwatches, and they love the history, they love the story, they love the mechanics of it, and the people who don't, I don't think they care. And so I think those people are the ones who are going to buy the MoonSwatch and not necessarily ever even care or look at a $8,000 watch because they're going to be like, why would I pay that when I could pay $250? And I think they'd actually lose more people. I mean, not many, but more people would say, hey, I can get my watch fixed buying a $250 watch instead of buying a multiple $1,000 watch. And I think Omega, not in a large field, but I think in a small field, might lose a couple sales because people will say, hey, I'll buy this cheap thing instead.
It's interesting, yeah. Bobby, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well, sir. Can we see what's on your wrist? Oh, you're muted.
I actually have a new watch.
Oh,
no.
Wait, let me guess. It's a Moonswatch.
Actually, I'm going to go even further than that. I actually didn't show in the Discord last week, but
oh, very nice.
All right.
So it's an Alaska project. I got this before the MoonSwatch release, so yeah, this has a no bioceramic, but it's 1861 movement. Just love the watch, so I got it again. I used to own it a long time ago, but I put it on Omega NATO, and I just love the watch. So I'm going to put this as a basis on which then comes this MoonSwatch release. I am just going to say that I've never heard so much MoonSwatch talk in social media, whatever, in the last couple of years till this came release. So I'm thinking that yes, I agree that Omega might lose a couple of scales because some watch fix. But there's going to be so many young people getting into this MoonSwatch. They want the real thing later on in life, and they might want to aspire to get that. So I think it's a great release for Swatch. So I think it's more of a Swatch release than an Omega release. I know it's a collab, but I think it's a Swatch watch, and Swatch hasn't been doing that great with their releases. I know System 51, but besides that, there hasn't been that much, I would say, social media buzz of Swatch watches until until the last 48 hours, which it's been crazy. That being said, I completely agree with you guys. It's a plastic watch, so I see the concern about that. I wish it was, maybe, but again, the price would have probably gone higher. I love the designs. I love the colors. I mean, they were playing fun with it. I love my favorite one, of course. I don't know if you guys went through the watches itself. Of course, is the the Swatch watch with this. I think I have to go get it. I actually was thinking of going to get the watch initially. So when I heard the news initially, I thought, this is a great release. This is, Swatch produces in millions. So I feel like, I'm pretty confident this is not going to be any issue. But I never thought the response would be like this in the streets. When I saw it in Australia, I was like, oh God, what's going on? Then I thought, maybe it's an isolated incident. Then I saw it everywhere else, and I'm like, this got to be, I mean, there are enthusiasts there, but I feel like there's a lot of people who are not there for the right reasons, and I think, I mean, why just wait? I mean, I've already had issues. I have had no issues getting Swatch watches online, and it's going to come up in 48 hours. So I think that's there's the Alaska project right there that you're showing. Yep. So I think it's kind of similar to this one, but it has the if you look at this one, it has the black capsules on the 6 and 9. Sorry.
Yes.
It's on the 3 and 6 here, and the one on the Swatch watch is, so it's the same case size, right? 42 millimeters. Mm-hmm. So you see this was the black cap is on the 3 and, so it's kind of different in that aspect, but it's red in color. So I like to see if I can put the shroud, the big thing that connects it onto the Swatch watch. That'll be interesting to do. So I think, but that being said, I mean, it's interesting to have this much, like we haven't even talked about the Omega releases from last week as much as people are talking about the Swatch watches. Like all these watch YouTube channels now suddenly are putting up the Swatch watch, just a video on that. Mm-hmm. And there's not that many people who have put up the Omega releases as this separate thing. So I'm glad, because let me tell you something else here though. If the same thing happened and they said, oh, Rolex is releasing the Hulk watch or whatever watch, it's in, every city, and it's going to be online. Don't worry about it, but it's going to be online. I think this is the personification of the community right now with gray market dealers, flippers, and all this. That was a personification of how it was on the streets. People trying to get a piece of it. I think this could be the first time that it's coming into watch culture. Like, the sneakers is the same thing, right? Like if the new Jordans come out, it's kind of like this type of this thing. I don't think Swatch was expecting this. Yeah. And so, I mean, good for them to, have this type of media buzz. I'm just glad that, it just carries over, and everybody who wants a watch gets a watch at retail.
Yeah. At retail. Don't pay $3,000 for this.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's so stupid. That's just. It's a $250 watch. It's worth $250.
Yeah,
maybe not even worth $250, but it's a nice, interesting piece for $250, affordable piece, and people are more interested in watches than smart watches.
Yeah,
and mechanical, at least mechanical, to a point. And then I think the colors schemes are beautiful. I think it's going to be a bestseller, I presume, for Swatch. And I think Swatch realizes that too. I think they did 2 watches for one person. Now it's 1 watch for one person.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be easy. It's the way they released it was kind of weird though, right? Limited locations. and I think they might do this to see how gauge interest from future releases onwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think hopefully in the future the question is how can they go from here, right? Is this the beginning of something? And I feel it is because they've done this before, but like
Yeah, I worry it's a slippery slope because
yep.
like Swatch owns so many different brands, right? Like, are they going to start doing this for other related like Swatch brands, right?
But I think there's nothing like I mean, this is like a universal theme, right? Like like people like planets, people like solar, people are interested in space. I'm not even talking about the history of space watch. I mean, it just feels like it's a great theme to watch. Now, if you tell me that their Swatch releases something with like Hamilton with movies or something like that, that might be something interesting. I don't know if Swatch can collaborate with other brands within the Swatch brand. I think Omega is the only one. Hamilton might be the other. I don't know if if you tell me that there's a Rado Swatch collaboration, I'm not going to be that interested in it as much as if it's a Planet chronograph or if it's something like Bond themed or Snoopy. Even so, now Snoopy I was thinking might be the next one is if you have a Snoopy Speedmaster, Swatch Master type of this thing with Peanuts, because Swatch and Peanuts already have a collaboration. Now Swatch Peanuts and Omega all
Yeah.
join forces. That might
Wow.
that might be something that might be cray cray. I'd be might be in line for it because I love it, but I think Swatch did a good job. It's good for the business and good people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so
And
it takes away from all the other talk on and the perfect timing of the release, right
yeah.
before Watches and Wonders. I don't think you'll see this craziness in Watches and Wonders, right? Like it'll be releases and everything. People like watch nerds talking about it. I don't. You won't see this on the streets. Police won't be involved. Stuff like that. So that's yeah.
Yeah, and the important distinction I think here is that this is a Swatch watch. This is not
Yep.
it's not an Omega, but it's probably the cheapest, not the cheapest, but the most affordable new way to get an Omega on your wrist, or the name Omega on your
Yep.
wrist, because it does say Omega and it says Speedmaster. And I think this is a good thing for Omega, maybe. I as well as Swatch, definitely a very good thing for Swatch. But I think it's a good thing for Omega because um it will kind of even make their brand even more better known. It's almost like an unintentional marketing stunt. At least I assume all this is unintentional, right? So people are gonna people are gonna kind of people are gonna kind of know Omega. People already kind of know Omega, and it's just the people who didn't know Omega are probably gonna get to know Omega even that there's going to be an even better chance that they'll know the name Omega. And I think in the long run, I think this is really good for Omega. Um,
It's kind of like I should say a gateway drug, but it is kind of like a gateway. Like, hey,
yeah,
here's a taste of a Moonwatch.
yeah,
The real thing is across the street in the Omega boutique, but hey, $250, wear it for years on end. If you love it, love it. If you really want it, hey, there's an actual Moonwatch that the moon landing, all that stuff. But if you guys want to try a manual wind chronograph for under $10,000, there's another one. You can aspire to get one. You know what I mean? Like that could be something. I thought when I heard the release, and I was telling a couple of people, was I knew it was going to be less than $1,000. The release when people were speculating 2,000, 3,000. But Swatch watch, when you hear Swatch, you're going to say, I'm not going to pay $1,000 for a Swatch watch. It'll be less than $1,000. I actually thought it was going to be a kids type of this thing. I would have loved if it was kids themed, like like when I say kids, seem like a smaller size. I know the case size is 42 millimeters.
yeah,
And that's pretty big for a child's wrist. But if you told me that these were going to be different sizes, if it was going to be 32 millimeters or 34 millimeter sizes, um, it would have been more for I would have thought that they should come in two different sizes. I think case sizes. That's the only gripe I have with the wrist. I think it's better for this is more of a youthful type of uh, you know introductory piece of time collecting than for experienced time collectors. Now I'm in the rare situation where I'm going to get it just to complete a set of the Elastica project, but that's just a rare thing. But I just want to this thing. It's an interesting piece to collect. I don't know if anybody's had it or anybody's collected it, but I've heard good things about the color scheme and good value for money for 250.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm hearing across the board as well. I just watched a video from um, the guy from the Armory, Mark Cho. Mark Cho, he did a video on it too. Apparently in Hong Kong, launch was canceled because the things were so crazy. You know, the lines were
But
a lot.
I don't know if you've seen the Houdinki article. They show all the places, not all the places, but most of the places. They show New York, they show Australia, they show London, they show Miami Beach, Las Vegas. Miami
Really?
wasn't that bad actually, if you look at the pictures.
Huh.
um, but it still was busy. I mean, like every place sold out.
Yeah, yeah, insane. Um, so I was wondering, I'd like to ask each of you guys, what would you say to someone who says um that this devalues the brand significantly and that they no longer want a moon watch because of this? Um, is that something you guys want to tackle? What kind of what have you heard this at all? I know I've heard a couple of people say that that it turns them completely off the Moonwatch. But would you understand that point of view, that perspective at all, Torin? I know it's a tough question.
Well, I mean, to clarify my position, because it seems like some people in the chat thought I was thinking it would, totally destroy Omega. I mean, I think long term it would bring more people in. And yeah, I mean, I think that would be more of a knee jerk reaction if someone said that to me, because I mean,
Right.
the Moonwatch has literally stood the test of time. It's an iconic watch. They keep making iterative changes to it. It's like one of the flagship models in Omega. So I feel like just having a quick release about with a Swatch collaboration and them turning it off the Moonwatch entirely, I think they have to put it in the perspective of like at the end of the day, it's more of a Swatch than an Omega, right? So like I don't think it's like an apples to apples comparison
Right.
necessarily, and you really have to kind of put it in the context of where it's positioned because it's definitely not like a luxury watch, and it the mechanical aspect of the Moonwatch and the fact that NASA like tested these movements and the heritage behind it, I still think is relevant and it's part of the experience of owning an actual Moonwatch.
Yeah. Yeah. And your thoughts, Patrick?
Is my mic still acting a little funky since the redo?
It's okay, I think.
Okay, I saw a couple comments, but if
Oh,
so, I'll restart. But if not, I'll just answer. The
yeah.
only person I really heard say that was Paul Thorpe. He pretty much said that he was never going to get a moon watch, a real moon watch, because of the MoonSwatch.
Right.
And I think he's a little bit off on that, just because I kind of on the camp of I think it's just completely two different fields. I think the Omega people, are still going to be Omega people, and I think the people who, like a relatively more kids watch, fun watch, they just want the new pair of Nike Airs, and that's what these are. And you wear them, you love them, you destroy them, you don't care. Those aren't the people who are going to take care of a multiple $1,000 watch that needs servicing and respect. So I sort of feel they're two different camps, and I don't really think this release is going to really do anything to the Omega brand. I don't really think it's going to do anything good or bad. I think it's just going to be forgotten in a short period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that as well. Herb, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Uh, how about you, Bobby? What do you think?
If Paul Thorpe said that he was not going to buy a Moonwatch, that's probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard because that's just stupid. Like what Patrick just said, there's two different. This is two different watches. This is not. This is not like people buy Steinhardt. Okay, for example, a Steinhardt because it feels or looks kind of like the Rolex feel and the Rolex type of this thing. But they still want to. People most likely want to still buy a Rolex watch because it still has the brand recognition. The movement is like a workhorse movement. The water resistance is great. The case finishing, all that stuff. Same thing. If you compare, I would love to compare. You know what? Once I get this MoonSwatch Alaska project, I'm gonna compare both of them, I guess, side by side, and the differences is enormous between those two things of finishing the. One is plastic. We're comparing a plastic watch to a stainless steel or a ceramic watch with an in-house movement or a manual wind movement, and great more history, of course, like 60 years of the moon watch. This is just a blip in the radar,
Right.
and this may be the one of the best releases of any watch company. I'm talking about Swatch, technically speaking, for the year, because
Yeah.
it kind of boosts them up. But for Omega, this is just, I think this is more Omega helping Swatch out than Swatch helping Omega out. I
Yeah.
think this is just Omega. I think Omega. The only thing Omega did was they lent their cases, I guess, the
Mhm.
case design,
Yeah.
and they released, gave their name along with Swatch. Again, this is their parent company. It's not like two different companies. This is like the same within the same field. Helping with each other out in the same brand is not a big issue. I think it's not going to hurt Omega. I think Omega's people are talking about it. When people talk about it, you're gonna more people are gonna think about, and I think it's a more overall positive review of the MoonSwatch anyway. If they like that design, they may want to go buy the real thing later on, and I think that's more better than this thing. Again, there are a few people who might say, "Oh, I bought the Omega Moonwatch. Why should I bought $6,000, $7,000 watch if I could get it for $250?" And those were people who probably bought it for the wrong reasons, in my opinion. I mean, if you're buying it just because it looks like it, then buy a fake watch. Like, why go through all the troubles of doing this? And again, that's not horology, that's a different aspect of it, but I can understand that aspect as well. I mean, people, this is a luxury item. This is not Omega I'm talking about. People buy watches for different reasons. So
Yeah.
at least from a horological standpoint, if it looks the same, then um, I can understand that argument from a layman's standpoint. From a horological standpoint, there's two different topics. I guess Paul Thorpe is talking from the visual aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because the MoonSwatch is, I think, a 1-to-1 recreation of the Moon Watch,
Mm-hmm.
and except for the fact that it's plastic versus stainless steel, it has a disposable quartz chronograph movement as opposed to mechanical chronograph manual movement. So, yeah, completely different fields when it comes to horology. But yeah, that's a good point from a layman's perspective. Um, it yeah, it's
It avoids people buying fakes too. It's like,
yes,
why buy a fake moon watch when you can have one for $250, which looks like this? For a person who wants to enter into it, I completely understand that. I mean, like if you want to buy something that looks great and is authentic, this watch is probably great. I think this is probably one of the best under $400 watches. That's not a dive watch. Like if you want to buy something like looks cool and feels cool,
yeah,
I think this was probably has a good conversation piece.
yeah, yeah,
Probably one of the best, if top three, if not right now with this release. I think there's a lot of buzz with this, and again, I think this might be the beginning of something for Swatch
yeah,
going on. So I think this is more important for Swatch than it is for Omega. Omega
yeah,
already has they've already been doing this for 60 years. I don't think they need this thing. I think Swatch has been struggling though. If we haven't talked about any Swatch watches like
right,
this, maybe since the System 51, and that's more of a like a this thing. Since Omega put their name to Swatch, now everybody's talking about the Swatch watch,
yeah,
and I was surprised about how many people were waiting in line. I didn't think that was. I didn't expect that at all for a
yeah,
$250 watch. But again, there's a dark side to that as well, and that's stupid because this is not going to be a limit. Swatch is going to release this in hundreds of thousands,
yeah.
if not millions, if it
But
gets.
even that dark side, I think, is going to benefit the community, like the watch collecting community, because we're going to have so many people who are like the hype is going to go nuts. It already has. There's just going to be that many people hearing about it just because of the hype now. And I think that's a great thing for the community. Because we're gonna have, well, for sure we're gonna have new faces new YouTube channels, even new people coming into the watch hobby because of this. And I'm really excited to see what's ahead. What's in the future. How many new people we get to meet. Who say this was what got me into watches, like 10 years from now.
Kind of like that's a very good point. I think like kind of like people say the Seiko SKX or a Casio G-Shock was one of the watches. Maybe 10 years from now, people, collectors would say, "Oh, the Swatch watch, MoonWatch."
Yeah.
That was the one that started my conversation to, chronographs or whatever, watches in general.
Yeah.
That could be this could be a beginning, like a entry level piece that started it all for future, this thing. That's what it's a great thing. That's why overall it's a great release.
Mhm.
The thing about Omega is I think Omega needs to make sure that it doesn't do too much of collaborations like that. Like, I mean, I understand they're doing their name to this, but they still have to keep. On the other hand, Omega has to make sure that they're doing their side of it when they're doing their releases. In like we talked about the releases last week without all this. We talked about the Aquaterras and everything, but I think they need to make sure that they continue innovating to make that's I think more important. Like if they make for example the Ultra Deep, if they release that in a 42 millimeter, they have their own Planet Ocean line. They've they release like the Speedy Tuesday versions, or like there's certain they do these Speedy Tuesday releases sometimes of every 5 years. If they keep doing that and then they not do that, that's my only concern from Omega is if they keep doing these Swatch releases, that might lessen the brand. That could be a issue. Like if Omega does another Swatch watch like in 2-3 months, if they're doing this multiple times, that's going to be a bad thing.
Who do you think they are, Grand Seiko?
Well, so the problem is they're all. I mean, this is all corporation, right? If the board thinks, hey, we're making money off of this, we should do this more and more often. Nobody cares. Like but I guess that's why it has to. There should be independent brands working autonomously, and then collabing maybe in between, but not too much, because that could lessen the overall growth of both brands in the long run if it's not done right.
Yeah,
this is something that
like
right now it's boosting, but like if they, it could trickle down.
Yeah, kind of like a lightning in a bottle kind of situation, right?
Yep.
It might turn out to be, especially if there's some. I saw a great comment from Neff that I highlighted not too long ago. There's some thought that this wasn't Omega's will, like Swatch could have twisted Omega's arm into doing this collaboration. I don't know what you guys think of that, if you guys want to comment on that, but that would be an interesting dynamic, like if Swatch is thinking that they're struggling and they want to focus on a different market, which they are. Swatch itself is, but I mean like the Swatch group, and they twisted Omega's arm into, giving them some of their thunder, Omega's thunder, into the Swatch brand. I could see this happening again and again, so like Swatch thinks they've got something great here, and you milk it until it's dead, kind of thing.
But the problem is milk what until what's dead though? Omega's Thunder's dead. Like that's the problem, right?
Yeah,
you're stealing thunder, and then and then there's no thunder to give,
exactly.
because that's the problem I have. Is it's great for Swatch though, because I think Swatch might make so much more money than Omega can, even because of a mass production, and how much God knows how much the profit margin is on these watches. If it's in the millions, like millions of watches, that's a huge revenue boost to them. But that being said, each and every release after that, unless it's like a Jordan brand, I don't know, that's probably one of the best ones. Each release has been so hyped up. I don't think this Swatch MoonWatch can keep that hype up after 3 or 4 iterations. I don't think so.
Yeah, agreed. Patrick, any thoughts on on that side of things?
Yeah, I mean, all conjecture and hearsay, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, I bet that Swatch umbrella company pretty much did say, "Hey, we got a great idea. Oh, Omega, you don't think it's a great idea? Too bad. We're gonna do this." And as Bobby said, they knew it was gonna be profitable, and they don't probably care that much that it you know, maybe didn't hurt the Omega brand, but might tarnish it for the next month or two in terms of, you know, sales. Kind of outshadowing even the recent Omega release. Because I mean, to me, I think that's kind of criminal where Omega dropped theirs a little bit early and everyone was talking about it and buzzing about it, but this in a way is kind of stolen the show for this week. We don't know how long that'll last. It really, I think, depends on how much this internet drop is and the new store drop. I mean, if they really can't keep up with the demand, then there's still going to be people pushing for it and selling it on eBay, and it'll be the Rolex scenario all over again. But my take on it is I think Omega probably didn't have as much say in this as they would probably want. And like you said, Sanjay, I really, really think it would be a bad idea if they, or maybe Bobby said it, but if they kept doing this, if they kept coming out with a different release, that really I think would then tarnish the Omega brand because it just would cheapen everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Torn?
Yeah, I mean, I concur with what was basically being said. I mean, I don't know that they could keep this momentum with other Omega releases. The only other thing I would be kind of interested in seeing would be like a Bond or Seamaster collaboration. But even then, like swatches aren't typically that water resistant. So are they going to do like a really water resistant plastic watch? I don't
Well,
know.
they've actually done a Bond watch, like a
Have they?
007. Yeah, like they called it the Q, the M. Like there was a swatch series of James Bond watches. They weren't really
Okay.
water resistant.
But I mean, again, like model, like borrowing in terms of dimensions and in terms of branding of Omega and stuff like that, like having it more closely modeled, I think might be interested. But yeah, I don't see how they're going to top like the Moonwatch release. Like it's pretty iconic, and
Yeah.
it would steal too much of a thunder, I think.
Well,
And I also
you better get.
wonder if they're going to try and continue with their model of just releasing it in store, in person only in the boutiques, and then going online later. Like I feel like that's going to frustrate people,
Oh, for sure.
especially if things like start to trickle down and no one really like shows up to the store.
Is that James Bond watches?
Yep.
It doesn't look like James Bond at all.
Yeah, that's to me. Like if you showed me that, I just think like another
The third one looks like a Miami
System
watch.
51
Yeah.
or something.
It does. Let's see if I can find. I know Random Rob showed this one off. I think he did. Yeah, so there's the Q watch. I'm pretty sure this is the one. So System 51, I think this one. This one's a...
Yeah.
Oh no, this one isn't. No, sorry, my bad. So yeah, they've done it.
Yeah, but I meant like kind of modern looking in terms of what a Seamaster looks like. And
Yeah. Dan mentioning 256 MoonSwatches sold on eBay. That's interesting. It's not a lot. I mean, it's only been out for a day, but Chaz is waiting for the Lord of the Rings Swatch collection. Kevin S said the Swatch Bond watches were pretty cool. Aficionado says Omega made a big mistake with this collaboration. Junior Johnson, good to see you. Neff says swatch that makes you invisible when you wear it. Interesting. All right. Well,
I think the less people who wear smartwatches and wear something mechanical that's the winner for Swatch, right? Swatch has been having issues since Fossil and all these other brands have come in, and you guys probably remember Swatch was the watch in the beginning in the 80s and 90s. I think they're trying to get that because Swatch was super popular at that time, and then it just lingered down. I think this is it's never going to be back to the 80s level, but uh, make it relevant in the conversations. I think that's the most important thing. Now for
Yeah.
Omega, that's I think if this is a one-time collab, that's perfectly reasonable for them.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
because it would be interesting to see the same conversation from amongst people here. If this was Rolex instead of Omega, let's just say Rolex came up with this thing, what would people say? Oh, wow, this is great. Blah blah. You think the flipper? This would have been a completely different story, completely whatever. For example, if Rolex released their, those exhibition cases that they have in without the working movement inside,
Yeah. Yeah.
if they release those as items that they're selling for, let's say, $750 or something, those would been people who have been lining out, same people who probably are hypocritical right now, saying, this is a bad thing. They'd be probably waiting in line too. So I'm just saying, it's a different perspectives for different brands, different this thing. I'm just trying to say that for the general, like Sanjay was saying, for the general mass appeal, I think Swatch hit a home run, and Omega should keep it. Is good for them too. People are talking about MoonWatch. As I said, I never heard. I read MoonWatch stuff every single day, and I've never had this much seen this much buzz since probably like Speedy Tuesday, when the first Speedy Tuesday came out with the first from Fortilla watches.
Yeah.
I think that's that's a thing that they shouldn't just milk it. And again, we're talking about the same issues again and again, but this is not going to last till Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever Watches of Wonders comes out, and then Rolex and Patek will have this thing. But again, you won't see those crowds like you've seen. I don't think that's ever going to happen unless it's an affordable piece, and that's only probably with Swatch, and I don't know what other affordable pieces there are. Maybe Casio, if something happens with like a G-Shock that's super super, like a collab with like Rolex or something like that would probably break the internet too.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think you won't see these type. I've never seen this type of crowd ever.
I don't think it'll happen. Even come Watches and Wonders, I don't think anything like this is ever going to happen, because there's just that many more people who are unwilling to even look at a news article about $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 watch. They don't. It's
Yep.
It's so absurd that that they're not going to look at it, but they're going to know that there's this $6,000, $7,000 watch, and you can get a taste of it for $250.
Yes.
And that those people, like, this hype is going to keep going. I think it's just going to keep going, because they're going to, most of the people, most normal people are going to want this watch, because it's it's cool. You get a taste of that. You get a legitimate taste of it.
Yeah, I think for the mainstream, I would say like the Swatch is probably one of the, like, it's probably newsworthy, right? They probably is in the news in probably Toronto or something. Oh, huge lines for us.
Oh yeah.
For a Swatch watch, if that was released today, probably it's a reporter on the street or something like that. I guess for the watch enthusiasts and everything like that, people who are in this chat here, who probably are 1% of the population of general watch collectors, I think next week's Watches and Wonders probably is going to be our attention is going to be diverted that way.
Yeah.
But for the mainstream, like the whole general population, this probably was going to be the release of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
because nobody's going to care about a Rolex that changed from 41 millimeters to 40 millimeters to 41 millimeters, or a colored Bell sheet. Nobody gives, like, mainstream wise.
That's if we even get a change. Rolex
Exactly.
might not do a darn thing this year.
Exactly. All those things.
They just have to make more watches.
Yeah. Or even if they don't do anything, that's still news to us, right? Like, that's still. But for the mainstream, they were like, oh, okay, Rolex is what Rolex. It's $10,000 watch, whatever. I have to, I probably can't afford it. What else is there? Oh, there's something that looks like a $10,000 watch. Okay, what's that? Oh, that's a MoonSwatch.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of address this because it kind of hits close to home, because I was actually one of those young people, right? I was a tech head who only wanted tech, and I had all sorts of smartwatches on my wrist all the time, and I got fatigued with all the notifications, and I just wanted a normal watch again. Meaning I knew my dad had normal watches that wound themselves on the wrist, and that's what I started to look into, and it made me into a watch enthusiast. So, Carl, there are many people who wear Apple Watches now who might go for this watch because they're sick of all the, always being connected, and they might become, the next YouTuber, the next watch enthusiast, our next best friend. So, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and I think we can't use general topics things, right? Like we can't say blanket statements like young people wear Apple Watches because Sanjay, you're still very very young. You don't wear like I think it's people are trying to trend away from too much input on their like this thing, but I think the Apple Watch is a great watch, right? Like it's probably isn't it the most selling watch? Apple's the most
Oh yeah,
leading watch
Pretty
seller,
sure it
I
is.
guess.
yeah, hands down.
I think I just anything that can try to take away from that a little bit, just for appreciation of mechanical things in general, is a good thing because people discard Apple Watches right to the garbage.
Yeah,
Um, and anything that we can keep our stuff. You know what I mean? Keep a watch
yeah,
for years on end. It's better for the planet as well.
yeah. Bruno, I know I said we were going to talk a bit about the MoonSwatch. My apologies.
It is the news for today. I mean, this is like this happened today. I don't think there's anything else besides that today, besides the MoonSwatch, right? There's
Yeah,
like
for Watch Soup tomorrow. I don't even like it's all just MoonSwatch. What are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
Well, I did see in the chat, and I felt bad too. I wanted to talk about Longines, but like whatever.
What happened with Longines? I don't know.
see,
They got the Zulu GMT
Oh yes,
for the
yes.
Spirit collection, and it looks
You're
like
right.
a home run.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I sent you some info on this on. I can't
wait, when did
remember.
Longines release that again?
I think it was Monday.
Yeah, it was the start of the week.
Okay.
Oh, Longines. That was
Feel
not
sorry
good.
for Longines, which funny enough is a Swatch company.
Yeah.
It just kind of gets hoarded, like washed over.
Yeah.
Do you have the picture of that?
I'll bring it up right now, actually. Longines Zulu.
Yeah, to me, the Zulu Diver addresses some of the issues of the original Spirit that I found, and it just looks phenomenal. Like there's different color options. The blue Sunray looks awesome, and then there's a green gold one that's also pretty popular.
Let's see. So that's this guy here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a terrible picture. There we go. So this, I think, is the green one.
That's the green one. Yep. And so it's an actual new for Longines. It's like a true GMT movement, 72-hour power reserve, chronometer certified. Yeah, ceramic bezel. It's I think 42 millimeters, and they've done some innovations. Maybe not to the bracelet, but the strap even seems to be better and has some adjustment system for it and everything. 22 millimeter lugs, which is great because I hated the 21 millimeter lug opening on the original Spirit. So
Yeah, and it looks a bit better proportion
Yeah.
because of that.
And the date at the 6 is a nice touch too, because I didn't like it at the 3.
And it shows that they were listening
Yeah.
to the first complaints because it cut off the 3. It made the 3 look weird.
Yeah.
And here, even though it's kind of close, like it's not right where it should be, it looks okay still. Like it still looks symmetrical. It looks like part of that text. So I think Longines really did a good
Yeah.
job.
If you can see, maybe can you find the blue one? I just want to show
Yeah.
people like the blue Sunray one. Oh, it's amazing.
Blue. There it is.
Yeah, I love it. It's got the pop of orange on the GMT hand.
Yeah. And the text. Oh,
Yeah, the text. Yeah.
it's really nice.
That is nice.
It's too big for me, but I'm looking forward to that 37 millimeter one. So
I don't know.
yeah,
To me, this is the spirit that I wish like they originally released. But
yeah, I totally understand that. It's a good looking watch. Patrick, your thoughts on this guy?
I'm unmuted for a minute. They're setting off fireworks at the stadium next door, so I didn't know if I was making too much noise. But yeah, it's nice. I mean, I said it's. I'm 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 not a chronograph guy, and by general rule, divers they don't always excite me. I mean, I said to me, it just kind of looks like every other diver. I mean, the dial's nice. It's got a good sunray pattern to it, but I don't know if I like the five stars at the bottom. That seems just a little bit gratuitous, but but the overall, it looks nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're just jumping the gun, giving themselves that 5-star review, right?
Yeah.
That's Dan's joke. I'm sorry, Dan. I had to steal it. But yeah,
they're very humble about it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Probably a good place to stop for the night. I mean, we covered the Longines, most of this evening, and a little bit about the MoonSwatch. So
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. Torrin, do you have anything coming up this week?
I mean, I did release a timely review of my like mechanical Moonwatch, and then kind of threw in some initial thoughts about the MoonSwatch. So if you want to check out that video, it's on my channel. But that's about it.
I had a question since we're talking all about this MoonSwatch. Anybody else getting a MoonSwatch? Or thinking about getting MoonSwatch? Like if it comes online.
If it comes online, I do want to.
Yeah, online. I'm not talking going in person. That's stupid. Online, if it comes up, would you guys think of any on the collection there that you would probably bite on?
Neptune.
The Neptune? Okay.
Yeah, I have
I'm-
absolutely no interest in picking one up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on the fence, but probably more no on the fence. I mean,
Sure.
if I was to get one, I would probably get the Mars just because I like the red with the white. I just think it's a big there you go watch. But really, to me, it just depends on if anything fun gets released in Watches and Wonders, because
Sure,
then I will have spent my allowance.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Bobby, we know you're getting the Mars, right? With the
Yeah. I want to see. I want to see how it looks.
yeah. Neff said he's not picking one up. I don't know if anyone else answered.
Chaz is getting one when they're available.
For Dan. Chaz is getting one. Carl is not getting one. Peter's getting the Mercury. Very cool.
Yeah, Mercury, it seems like a very popular one.
Yeah.
So that's one with the grayish dial and the black bezel, I believe. It looks nice.
Yeah. Roy, a year from now, I will get the Earth used for $50.
That's great.
Steve,
I'm glad there's so much options there. Some people are saying Pluto, some people are saying Jupiter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody just said Saturn. Like it's. This is what I like about it. It's like there's so many options. Like it's not only one that was the key. There was 11 releases, and so far I've just saw 6. Right.
Yeah.
People saying that
Yeah, I agree. That's really cool that they have so many variations, because you're right. You could be the girl and get the pink, even though you'd have to have a jumbo wrist, but you could be the guy who wants the standard and get the Mercury and the Moon, or you could get someone who just wants something wild and crazy and get the Sun or Mars, and there is a lot of variation.
You can be a guy and get the pink one too.
You could.
Yeah.
It's salmon, guys. It's salmon.
Yeah.
The fake diamond around the chronograph circle.
I could pull it off.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to see this now.
You didn't see the pink one? Venus?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, the Venus has fake little diamond spots around the subdials. So
Okay.
that makes it a little bit harder for the guy to wear. But hey, I'm sure there's someone out there who'll do it.
Yeah. Hey, that's interesting.
You got to think there's a lot of like people waiting in that swatch lineup that ended up buying the Venus because that was the only one.
Absolutely, that's so true.
Yeah.
Like, we've got 3 left. Which ones? 3 Venuses.
Yeah. All right, guys. I honestly don't know what we're going to talk about for Watch Soup tomorrow, but hey, maybe we'll just hang out and talk about the other stuff we were supposed to talk about tonight. Because I am, after this, I am MoonSwatched out. So
No more MoonSwatch.
no
Well,
more
to leave
MoonSwatch.
on a fun note, last time I was on, I had won a pocket watch that day, and it has
Oh, nice.
arrived in the mail. So
Hey,
I
congrats.
can show off my my beautiful little Hamilton 923,
Oh, it's
and
beautiful.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
so a nice 18 karat gold case, and just a really beautiful little watch.
Yeah,
So
Great.
I said I gotta send
congrats.
it off to the old watchmaker and have it get some mechanical loving because it works fine, but obviously it's 100 years old. I don't know when it was serviced last, so I wouldn't run it for a long period of time until I know it's well lubricated and all that fun stuff. So
Hmm.
that was my new little fun addition for the week.
Yeah. Would you do the service yourself?
No, I'm not good at that part of it. I actually I just made a video where I did a dial swap
Okay.
and where you can do some simple mechanics where you can swap something out and take the movement out, but when you have to do all the tiny little balance wheels and stuff like that, I just don't feel comfortable doing it. And if it was a cheaper watch, maybe I'll get some practice eventually, but when they
Yeah.
get to a little higher echelon of price, I'd be really mad at myself if I broke it.
Yeah. I totally understand that. I've just heard that pocket watches are easier to work with than wristwatches.
Completely true, even though
Yeah.
this one probably is not as easy as some because the old ones, which have a really really thick frame, they're a little easier to work with because there just isn't that the spaces aren't that important. But
Okay.
this version from the little bit of the later 1930s, this is when they started to make them really, really thin. So to be fair, this one, though not a wristwatch, it's more like a wristwatch in terms of the spacing of. So this one does maybe take a little bit. I'll show you the inside.
Oh, that's cool. 100
Does
teaspoon.
does
Oh,
have a
nice.
little bit of a thinner profile to it. And,
Yeah.
let's see if I can get my face out of the game,
Oh, look at that. Man, it's beautiful.
but yeah, they really do a nice job on this particular version. It's just very very well made. But so this one, as I said, is I would not be as comfortable working on this one as let's say some of my bigger boxier pocket watches where you know I think you're completely right. It's Tim Masso keeps talking about a old Hamilton that he's learning how to do watchmaking on, and I
Yeah.
definitely think that's a good place to start.
Yeah. That's actually who I was thinking of when I mentioned that. So,
Hmm.
yeah. All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed tonight. Sorry again about the Moonswatch talk, but hey, you know, peppered in some good nuggets of pocket watch and Longines. So, take care, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, and yeah, have a good night.